The following presentation is brought to you by Trumbull Photo, Film, and Commercials, the best source for high-quality photography, videography, and video marketing. For more information on how we can serve you, please reach out to Levi Trumbull with the contact information seen on the screen in front of you, or visit us on the web at trumbullphotofilm.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you and enjoy.
All right. This was the first top-level prep school you have played this season. How do you feel the team played today?
Well, you know, we had a lot of, I would say, uncharacteristic turnovers. We had every opportunity to win the game. We led the game with a minute to go. We were 1 point down with 7 seconds to go with the ball at our basket, and we turned it over. We had 19 turnovers, which is very uncharacteristic for our team. And without those turnovers, I think that we would have dominated them very well. I thought that as far as our play and our game plan, it went very well. We just had a lot of unusual turnovers, and because we had some players who last week did not practice because of injury and stuff like that, not to make an excuse for the other team played well, but we were right there. And as far as I could tell, as I said before, I think that we play well enough to play with any of the teams that we will face in the Prep School League.
All right, very good. All right, let's see what the second one is. How did the team today How did the team today stack up against the other college teams that you have been facing?
Well, this team was more talented than the other teams that we've been facing. They had 8 or 9 Division I players that were high Division I players, okay? So that, as far as that, they had more. There were teams that we have stacked up against and we've played who just didn't have as many players as what this team had. This team had a great deal of players. They had a lot of players. They were playing 10, 12 players, and they were all good quality players. So when you run up against teams that have a lot of Division I players, that's always very tough.
Okay. Let's see. Who stood out most to you during today's game?
Well, I mean, I think that that's just about what will normally be for us when we play that higher caliber teams. The same 2 players are going to stand out for us, and that is Kay Williams and Jalen Kelso. They both are, because they're at that kind of caliber, they can last with those. I thought that they played well today and kept us in the game. Like I said, I was satisfied to be ahead with a minute to go. You know, some calls went against us and so forth, but the game was very nip and tuck for the last 3 minutes. It was either they were ahead or we were ahead, and most of our output came from Kay and Jalen.
All right. And then your final one, let's see. All right, you're playing it. You're playing in a junior college tournament this coming week in, let me say it again. How do you pronounce that? Onondaga?
Yep.
All right. Onondaga. You're playing in a junior college tournament this coming weekend in Onondaga. What's going to be the focus in practice tomorrow to prepare for this weekend?
Well, I think that we have to get better prepared for presses. Like I said, this press today caused us some turnovers because they forced us to get the ball out of the guard's hand to throw it to someone else because you're trapping. And we've got to do a better job of the second line going with the basketball, the second line protecting the basketball, the second line making passes with the basketball. So I think that's the adjustments we're going to have to be able to do. We're going to have to get better at press offense.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
All right? You have a good
Yeah, for these. How do you feel? All right. How are you doing, man? Levi.
Kanante Williams.
Good to meet you. What position do you play by chance?
I'm point guard, shooting guard.
Very cool. All right, so I'm just going to ask you 2 quick questions about the game today. You ready?
Yeah.
It's going to be start with how do you feel about the team's performance, and then how do you feel about your individual performance today. So I'm going to start with question number 1. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
So with today's game, how do you feel about the team's performance?
I feel, that the team, we played as hard as we could. We gave our all. There's a few little things that we needed to tweak up. We have to go back to, like the chalkboard in practice and, clean some things up. And once we clean them up, we'll be fine. We can compete with anybody.
Perfect. All right, let's take a step forward, actually. Let's actually bring it over. Yeah, just right about there. Perfect. And then you feel. How do you feel about your individual let me say this again. How do you feel about your individual performance today?
I feel like I played well. There's a lot of things that I could have done better. As far as early on in the game, I could have played more solid defense. I started off the first half with 3 fouls, and that's not me knowing my position and my role on this team. I can't give 3 fouls early on like that. I have to play smarter, so I can stay in the game. And yeah, basically.
All right, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, man. If you want to bring me over someone else, because I need another player from the team.
Jay.
How you doing? You say your name was Jacob?
Not Jalen.
Oh, good to meet you, man. How you doing?
Thank you.
All right, so I'm just going to ask you 2 quick questions. Same questions I just asked your buddy over there, starting with, how do you feel about the performance of today's game?
I feel like we did really good. We just couldn't finish and pull it out.
Okay. And how do you feel about your individual performance on today's game?
I feel like I did good, but I could have did better today. In next game, I'm going to try to play a little bit better.
All right. Sounds like the plan, man. Thank you for coming over. Thank you. Have a good one. After I can record it, and then that looks pretty good. And then walk in here. And I assume I am in the shot. I think that, yeah.
Stand back over there.
Yeah, tell me if I'm in that shot.
Yeah, you in it. Yeah, everybody good.
Okay, cool. All right, let's knock these out then here. I'll take a step over this way, and then I'm still in the shot, right?
You good? Yes.
Okay, perfect, because I can't even see it from over there. I'll take your word for it. All right. And what was your name?
Rod Harrison.
Rod Harrison. I'm going to say Coach Harrison. That's what I'm going to say. Go back to the questions you sent me. All right, so now we are with the coach of Mount Zion. First question I wanted to ask you real quick is, how do you feel about your team's performance today during the game?
I think we played well in spurts. I think we got a lot of things to work on as far as just defense and being consistent on the offensive end, running sets and stuff like that. But it's early in the season, so it's expected. That's why we play these games early on, so we can fine-tune everything. Yeah.
Good. All right, I'm going to ask you a question, too. And what are you... Well, let me ask this again. I'm not going to say and. What are your expectations going to be for your team this season?
Oh, national championship. We always compete every year for the national championship. So that was a goal from the beginning. We've been preaching that since day one. So, we practice, we push for that every day. We're ranked in the country, so we have to, that's the goal. There's nothing short of that. So we're looking to compete for a national championship.
And as we speak right now, who do you think the top players are?
It's hard to say. I mean, we got a lot of good guys. You know, I don't preach individual. I preach team. You know, we can actually get this thing done together. If one guy got 20 one night and the next game a guy got 20 or 30, we're fine with that. You know, we don't preach top guys, and you know, we preach team effort. You know, because that's what wins championships. I can't have one guy getting 60 and we losing every game.
Right. And do you have any final thoughts about today's game?
Final thoughts is just energy. I mean, I was happy that we closed it out. You know, we picked up the energy the last 3 minutes, got a couple stops, a couple deflections. You know, I think we could have took care of the ball a little more down the stretch, but overall, you know, I was pleased. We pulled out the win. You know, we get a chance to go back and look at film, figure out what we did wrong, and try to correct it for the next game.
All right. Sounds solid. Thank you. So now, questions.
That's how you be.
All right. So can we start off with your name? Let me get this right. I try not to hold the phone when I ask questions. All right. So can we start off with your name and where you're from?
My name is Deshaun Phillip. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
All right. And what position do you play?
I play 1 through 4. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward, and power forward.
All right. And how do you feel about the performance of your team today?
It was okay. We got to dial in more mentally, but we came out to win, so that's still good. But we got to play better if you want to win a national championship.
Very fair. And today on the court, how do you feel about your individual performance?
I played okay. I'm capable of doing better. I had a couple of turnovers, missed some rebounds. Always room for improvement.
Absolutely. And do you have any final thoughts for today's game?
We just had to lock in more mentally every game.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. You have a good one, all right? Tell your coach I said thanks for coming back. I know he had to